Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold. And this is it. I've decided I'm licking my chops at the opportunities we have in the south here, and we're gonna go. We're gonna go on the offensive. We're gonna do a lot of attacks this turn. Actually, just to show you, I have these armors that I'm gonna push up right here and right here. This guy can get all the way over here. So that's just preemptive for next turn. We can't really do anything with that. I was like, if I could get this guy here, maybe I would attack this turn, but that's still a pretty sizable combat value. And I've been bombing the crap out of them, so I'm going to go on them the next turn. Now, these huge infantry gun contingent, oh, it's even bigger here. Yeah, 4 and 5, supposedly 9 there. They have a lot of infantry gun along this front, but I'm going to do a little artillery bombardment, like so. And we're going to weaken them a bit. Now, in the far south, there's a lot of opportunities with some weak units that I want to attack. Currently, they have low readiness, and that's the best time to strike, so I can just inflict a lot of casualties. And for this one, I am going to do one of my dive bomb follow-ups. I have 2, so I have to be pretty, I have to be careful about which hexes I'm going to actually attack with my dive bombers. They didn't do as much as I was hoping, but that's still good. 3 more infantry guns down for the count, and let's do another artillery and dive bomb combination here. So obviously I'm using a little bit of a less effective. This has less AP and less experience, so they're not as powerful. Less readiness, everything is lower, so they're not going to do as good of a job with these guys. But I just want to lower their entrenchment a little bit so that my dive bombers can come in and finish the job. So let's do it. Go, go, go. Kill, kill, kill. Alright, a lot of retreating and only 2 down. Very mediocre. That was not as much damage as I was hoping. But that's fine, we'll live with it. We did a lot up here, though. This was over 100, and now it's down to 70. And this one's still over 100, but that's fine. I'm confident my lines will hold. I'm not worried about that. Can he get? He can. Okay, so I might actually use this guy. I might be shifting my armor to penetrate through, because the weak area I'm seeing, which anybody with eyes can see, anybody who knows how to look at numbers and evaluate which one's greater, 152 or 35. You can see that there's a weakness here, and even more importantly, I can get to this very weak unit in the back. Now, I don't have great recon on this area, so it's possible that this hex is slightly more powerful or even slightly weaker than I'm seeing here. But it won't be so different. I mean, my report can't be so inaccurate that this is like actually a 40 combat hex or something. Maybe it's a 10. And either of those cases I'm fine with attacking with my armor. And just because I attack into this hex doesn't mean I need to move in. You can tell how excited I am. I can barely speak. Alright, so now in the south there's obviously this a bit of a problem with this rather beefy unit. They have this 169th Division is it's pretty strong. Now, I could bombard it with artillery. However, what I want to do instead is kind of inflict casualties on this unit, which is F50 readiness. It's a pretty low number of rifles. Anytime you see a truck as their main combat unit, that's a really good sign that that is a weak unit. It's a division that we want to attack because trucks actually have no combat value by themselves. So if your stack points is majority truck, that means this is a great opportunity to inflict damage on a unit which cannot return damage. Now, I am going to actually bombard this one as well because I'm going to use only my infantry to attack since my armor just got to the front. Remember, it was back here, we just moved it up. So this is the opportunity for me to move my artillery forward. I want to have this in position to bomb this on next turn, and I'm willing to waste the action points on this turn because I'm not doing that much damage bombarding this one anyway. I'm just softening it up so that I obliterate it with the remaining infantry. Alright, so let's do that. It's a little risky because I am leaving this very beefy division in the south. It could move forward and actually attack my artillery hex, but my artillery does fight in the back. So I'll show you what that means. Maybe I've already shown you this, but just combat stacks, rear area is true, which means that all of these rifles and machine guns, which are frontline forces, so they will have rear area false, they fight in the front. The enemy has to penetrate your line of rifle and machine guns in order to do damage to your artillery, which fights like it's only like in the back lines. So that they will be protected, the artillery, if we are attacked. And they'll still be contributing to the battle. They'll still be adding their combat value. So I'm not too worried about an attack, especially because this is a really, really beefy defensive unit with so many machine guns already. Remember, against infantry, machine gun fours are just insane. 540 damage. Compare that again, just one last time, to let's say the rifle, just the basic rifle unit, which is I think what they have. They're going to be attacking at 13 and I'll be defending at 540. So about 30 times their attack strength. Yeah, that's just insane. So that leads us to our follow-up attack, which we're going to use both of these units for. That will cancel any of the entrenchment that they have, but you can see exactly why I did that. I didn't lose any units. A few just are going to have their readiness lowered, and I obliterated their infantry guns, their trucks, 15 rifles. Only 8 units survived that attack. And that's exactly what I wanted. Now, I can't really follow up because this is just infantry, and I don't want to like push any infantry units forward because then there would be a real hole in my lines. If I had thought about doing that, I would have put this armor into this hex, but too little, too late. Not even too little, too late. Just, I didn't make that decision. Wrong phrase. Okay, now next thing is I'm going to attack this hex with both of these units. Now, I've done artillery, artillery, and artillery, which leaves us only one artillery remaining. And I have a few choices here. Would I want to attack this one? Or this one? Or this one? Or so I think I'm going to attack this, because it does have some pretty beefy units still, and I want to lower them all. I'm not worried about these guys, but just out of the hexes I want to attack still, I think these 3 hexes are left, and this has the highest combat value, so let's just lower that one. And it does have an armored car, which I'm not expecting to be destroyed here. In fact, if we look at the green by it, I'm not even really expecting its readiness to go down very much, and that was the case. It didn't really drop very much. But wow, their total readiness is now down to 10. Their entrenchment down to 1. So our artillery just blew this unit to pieces. They're just a shattered remains of what they used to be. Their combat value has been reduced by 75% according to these numbers, which may not be perfectly accurate, but they're pretty good with recon of 211. Now, I want to make sure I don't attack with this armor unit because I want him to have all his action points available to push through this unit. I was even thinking, that's why I clicked on this guy earlier, should I assist in the attack with this armor? And it's still a good question, but I think I'm going to leave him in defense of the artillery that I have forward, and we'll just let him chill for this turn, unless I want to reposition him a little bit so that I can get a better attack off. I like him here because he's also going to be able to react, maybe assist in the blue headquarters. Any blue action, this armored unit is going to be in position to respond or assist. Okay, so let's do the attack. We want first just our infantry. Even though this guy's a little bit weak, I'm going to trust his capabilities against this massively understaffed hex. So let's do this attack, and I'm going to use all 3. And that's going to put me at a pretty severe stack penalty, which means, yeah, I might take a few. Maybe I actually won't attack with this guy. Yeah, this is fine. We're already outnumbering them, like, what is this, 250 to 25, so that's 10 to 1. I'll take it. Which will probably be the reason why we take any casualties at all, just because, we're over our attack stack limit, and that means you are susceptible to greater casualties. But we can see that the damage I did is much greater than the damage I took. 19 more rifles, 8 submachine guns, and the all-important artillery destruction. Good. Now I'm going to move only my armor forward. He still has his 60 action points, which means, yes, he can attack here. Now, this is most interesting. I actually now am thinking that the best thing to do would be to attack. Yeah, let's just do it. We can mop up these forces. We still have one more in us, which is the good thing about armor. They usually are available for follow-up attacks. Let's do it. I'm not even going to think twice about it. I'm just going to do it. Let's see what kind of... Wow, perfect. So the first round of combat, we destroyed all the enemy forces. They were all had such low readiness to begin with that they just immediately surrendered or died or whatever it is they do when they are obliterated from the map. Which means that yes, we are going to call this artillery in. I mean this armor in. Because I want to attack this guy from two sides. Actually, okay, so I did artillery on this guy. He's so weak that maybe I will just only attack with it. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So this guy who just moved in, I have to remember which one he is, the 50 action point. We're going to attack with only that 50 action point, this guy. So let's check him. Now, still 144 to 8. I'm not expecting any problems here. We just had a few guys retreat. That's lower readiness. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Okay. Good. But we killed a whole bunch and only 6 rifles and 1 submachine gun survived. They get pushed back to this very weak hex. Now I want my 85 guy to push in. And that'll cost him 30, so he'll be at 55. What will this... so he'll only be at 25 after this attack. Would that be enough to move back? How much does it cost to actually move in? 30. Unfortunately, he won't be able to move back. Which means perhaps... No, I'm just debating whether or not to move this guy forward or not. That's a decision I can actually make later. We know what we want to do, so let's just go ahead and move this guy forward and do the attack. So another follow-up attack, which should be, again, just as devastating. And we see it is. Okay, I'll do a few units retreat. That's going to lower my readiness a bit, but for them, most of the units are killed. So you really see how these follow-up attacks are almost like as important as the initial attack itself. In some cases are actually more important because you break their lines on the first attack, but you run them over, you really overrun the units on the second attack. So we've gotten a lot of damage done on this turn already. And this is really exciting. I mean, the beginning of the end for the Germans. I still have a huge front in the north, and I'm not sure what I'll do about that quite yet. But let's go actually up to the north and northwest. I've also decided I'm going to attack here. I don't know if this is the right decision or not, to be honest, but I'm just going to do it in the spirit of let's just attack everything. So this... If you remember earlier in this turn, we did attack a unit that is here. It got pushed back here. Now what I'm going to do is, this submachine gun group wasn't involved in the attack, and this one was, so they can actually move here for free. Now if I move them here, they can still attack. So what I'm going to do is move them in, and this cavalry was also involved in the attack, so we can move them in for free. Move cost 0. I'm going to attack this unit with everyone, just everyone. Now, there's 5 armored cars. The readiness is 40. That's still decent enough that I'm sure I'm going to take some casualties. But the advantage here is I'm going to be fighting with submachine guns in a forest hex, so I will get a bonus from this unit. I have lots of machine guns, so all their infantry will be just destroyed immediately. And then the armored cars are just going to inflict some damage. But I'll win this hex back, and I think, because I have 3 sides of surroundment, I think the combat bonus makes this worth it for me. So if we just see, if I click all these guys, my attack stack is, slightly over. Can I get rid of that? No. So I'd have to take a whole unit off, and I'm not going to do that. 20% bonus to the attack, which is good. We will take a few extra casualties. That's unfortunate. But I think if I look at, I just prefer to at least have over 3-1, usually 4-1, and I have those combat odds. Let's go ahead and attack, because taking back this forest hex is really important for my submachine guns. They don't defend very well in their current hex. And they actually attack better in the one they're going to. Alright, so we did take some massive casualties, but they took some, even worse. 26 rifles, 2 trucks, 2 submachine guns, and 3 armored cars. That's the important one. I don't have any armor up in the north, so killing those submachine guns is really important. Killing those armored cars is really important. And the extra good news for me is I'm ending this hex, I'm ending this turn, with the submachine guns on a road hex, which means that their combat value is currently 54. But if I zoom out, take my headquarters over here, and transfer units back to this guy, I can actually do it by rail cap. Now, it doesn't look like I can transfer a train, but I don't want to. I want to get some submachine guns up there. So we'll just see how many we can do. Mind you, I've already moved forces into the 2 other HQs and correspondingly moved in extra staff, so that their staff is around 100%. So let's just put in, doesn't look like we'll get 20. What about 16? Because I want to get a few machine guns in there as well. Can I get 3 machine guns. Okay, so that's 40 and 16. In fact, okay, I can't quite get to my city guard levels, but this was at, what was it, a 58 or whatever, and now it's at a 79, so we got a little bit of better defense. More importantly, we don't need to worry about this armor car attacking the next round, because its readiness is only 15. So we have given ourselves some time to build up our defenses here. Okay, good. So that's all the attacks we need to do in the north. We've again established a good defensive line, including a forest, which is important for my submachine guns. And they also prefer to attack into forest, so it's really good for them not to be so far away from the forest. That's the only advantage. That's the reason why I have them up there. Now that being said, I think we're done with attacks for this turn, but I'm pretty happy. Let's see. I should mention that I do have the political points to upgrade my artillery 3, which is what I want to do, but I don't have. Let's see. I want to make sure that this is a correct statement. The upgrade cost is 66, and I have, if I go to statistics, totals, no, power, yeah. I have 40 of them. Well, 40 times 66, I mean, I can't do exactly the math, but it's around 2,500. And that would put my supply stockpile almost to 0. So we don't want to do that yet. What I did is I changed around my production a bit to give me 9,200 supply. I don't really need political points, so I've greatly lowered that. Again, that's the constant trend, is lower political points, increase supply. Next turn I'll be able to undo that a little bit, and because this attacks took so long, I probably won't get all the way through next turn, so I'll do that off camera. But we can see what I did. I just traded a little bit of political points for supply so that next turn I can upgrade my artillery. Now I'll have to make sure to do that at the end of the turn so that my artillery don't lose all their action points. Alright, well that's good for this turn. Do I need to move any more units forward? I do have these 6 light tanks, although I don't have any of the capacity to move them, unless... Actually I do if I just abuse my... So I can't send because I don't have rail cap, any of these, because they take 4750. But I believe that, yes, my HQs that they're receiving can actually send their trucks back to grab a standard light tank. So let's do that, actually. Let's just send one to each. So one more. And these guys actually have enough. Let me do that first, because if I mix all the standard light tanks together, all their action points will go to 0. So let's create one more new unit here. And we'll make yet another armored division. Whoops, not 59. Let's do 8. And 4 machine guns. And I even have enough to create another infantry. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I will do a little movement. Now this guy... Oh, okay, some of the rifles already moved in, so this unit can't move. But at least the readiness of the light tanks is good. Okay, but that's unfortunate. I didn't think about that. I moved in rifles and machine guns off camera in the middle of this turn. If I hadn't have done that, I'm sure I had the 8 rifles and 4 machine guns to actually make an armored unit that would have had action points immediately. But that's fine. Let's then create one more, transfer another machine gun infantry group. And I'm going to have just barely anything left over to resupply, which means that, oh, well, this guy will get his 2 machine guns, so. Actually, are we okay? Jeez, we're actually okay. Awesome. Does he still have his, he does have 5,000. Can I get 2 machine guns into this without, yeah, that's not going to take any land cap at all, so let's do that. I'm not going to worry about the rifles, or should I? I know 4750 is the... Nope, so if I do this, I'll be below 4750. That's the mark I need to get a new tank in, and I prefer getting the tank in. So let's go back to sub-formations. Alright, so that's all I want to do with this guy. He'll just transfer the rifles in at the beginning of next turn. That's fine. I got the machine guns in, which is the better defensive unit anyway, so that's the important one to transfer first. Rifles are, I mean, they're really just buffer units. Why don't I switch to pure machine gun armies? I mean, it would be more efficient, but that's just a little too gamey for me. I like to see the riflemen bouncing around and taking damage. So, plus the AI isn't abusing the machine guns, so I should try not to do it too much. All right, so let's transfer that standard light tank, like I was planning on doing. I need to use the blue cap and transfer 1 standard line tank. Boom. Okay, good. I also want to transfer 1 to this unit, the red. Oh, they don't have enough. Oh, they don't need as much. I see. And they do have enough line caps, so let's do that. Now they have 2 standard line tanks. That's not going to do anything, so we're okay to move that in. All right. Now, has that affected their? They're at 101, and these guys are at 99. That's fine. I'm okay with those numbers. Good. So this turn itself already took 20 minutes. Let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens in the next turn. Or, sorry, I wanted to move one of these infantry out, I think. This guy, let's make him machine gun infantry. And one of these guys probably gets moved out. Maybe this guy? Where do I want to move him? Can he get here? He can. So the only disadvantage of that is that I'll have so many units in here I won't be able to see. But I could move these engineers out. They're not needed anymore. Where do I need the infantry? Yeah, I need them here. So let's move the engineers out just so I have, just for organizational reasons, just so I can see. Let's move these engineers. Do I have any oil? I do have oil back here. I think that's the one this guy's going for. Off camera, I did move those engineers. I mean, is there any place that he needs to go? I think I'll keep him close by, actually, because I want to advance the roads as soon as I push in. So that was the reason, actually. That's a good point. Let me move him. Crap. Damn it. Well, I'll move him down because if I keep advancing here, I'm going to need the roads to follow for my supply lines to follow along with my armor. So, but that's fine. Let's just end the turn. Enough already, right? Let's see what happens. So Chinese first. We don't care. And here it is. What will the Germans do? Do they counterattack? They do not, but I did see some pretty beefy units up there. They're moving in the middle section, the middle flank. They didn't recall. Oh, got a battle. And another one down here. Okay, so they did attack. That's not outstanding. Did I lose? I only lost infantry, so that's good. I didn't lose any artillery. I think the artillery hex was attacked. Ooh, one of my headquarter guys got a level up. Increased his combat by 3, morale by 2, and staff points 58 points. That means an additional, like, this is divided by 10 for the number that we see, so that's like 6 extra staff, which is good. I think that should help actually pretty significantly. Was that this guy? Yeah. So now he's up to 70. That's awesome, because remember, this guy's at 72. He's at 72. And this guy was at 64, so it bumped him up to 70. Did that help? Yeah, his staff percent went up to 102. Actually, I don't even remember what it was. It might have dropped. Okay, so let's just go ahead and look at the history real fast before we call this episode to a close. So they did. This is so silly. I'm actually super happy that they did that. They attacked my armored. And although the sad thing is, out of all the units I can lose, I would rather have lost light tanks. Because my light tanks are produced in a factory, but my infantry is tied really to my something which is limited, my city supply. But that's fine. I mean, we really held well. I don't really understand this attack from them. It's a 1-to-1 against a unit that they didn't have more than 3-to-1. Well, maybe that's just my... I think that it's only good to attack with overwhelming odds, but... They did pay the price for it. Now, that was one attack. We lost 5 and they lost 32, and so they lost 33. That's not good. I think they had another attack. Oh, they attacked it again. Very strange. Like, if at first you don't succeed, suffer more losses until you do. I don't know what they were going for here. But they suffered even more losses. Well, that's going to make my turn it's going to be very obvious that I'm going to counterattack. And then they didn't do anything else, right? They moved up a lot of units there. Fine. All right. Okay, well, let's take a brief look at what the situation is, and then I'll do a little bit of moving off camera, and I'll get back to you on the next turn where we will continue our offensive. So they just moved some units into this high mountainous. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that they can supply Let's just say they were here. Can I turn on supply mode? Yeah, okay, they can supply. Well, that's not good. I was hoping this would be out of supply for them. So that unit's fine. I'm definitely not going to attack into High Mountain. They're going to have insane entrenchment there. So we'll just kind of hold line. Maybe I'll move this guy back up to the raw just to protect it, probably. I can probably just do that right now. And let's move this guy just back. I don't know where to move him, actually. There's no good place for him. I'll think about it. We'll come back. Okay, let's scroll down, see what the front looks like at the blue. We have our gray front in the north, our blue front in the middle, and our red front in the south. Okay, well, let's see. They actually pulled back, which is interesting. We'll make the artillery bombardment a lot simpler now that I only have... This is not even an option. I think I'll pretty obviously just be attacking this guy. And let's just take a look at these units. Armored cars, 4 of them. That's probably a dive bomb and artillery hex. Ooh, another 4 here. Maybe another dive bomb artillery. 7 armored cars, definitely dive bomb artillery, or at least dive bomb. Some infantry guns. I've been waiting so long to attack this hex because we do have the 3 hex surroundment, and this one too. I've never gotten around to it, have I? We can make this guy a light armor. This artillery finally made it too, and it's up to 100% on everything. That means that this guy should also be there. Yeah. Well, that means very good things for this turn. You can see that their line has really been broken up in the south. It's really time for us to push on. Unfortunately, we did leave our armor a little out of position. This is the disadvantage with kind of pushing forward in one area here. I don't know if we'd want to push forward in this area anyway. We'll probably just attack with infantry because we're running into mountainous area, which is devastating for tanks. We might just make a push on for Trier. Interesting. Well, I'll go ahead and call this episode to a close here. We do have some fascinating choices for us to make. Gosh, I wish I could speak well. That would be nice. But I began this episode licking my chops, and I'm going to end it the same way. Lots of possibilities for attacks. They threw themselves so hard at me in this one that it's just maybe even we dive bomb this one. Forget about dive bombing. We'll just maybe dive bomb this one, and I think we'll dive bomb this one though because gosh, we might even just be able to overrun this though because oh wow, these guys got completely resupplied from this headquarters. That's amazing. That's awesome. They're completely back up to full strength. Okay, so making these models is really a good idea. I didn't realize how amazing having the models is. You start fully reinforced. Like they got attacked off. Like it was impossible for me to do anything since the attack occurred not on my turn. But they were automatically reinforced, and they still have the action points as if they weren't. It's like they were reinforced last turn. That's really, really awesome. Okay, so the readiness is pretty poor, but not the tanks. The tanks can charge in. Alright, I'm just blabbering on at this point, so let's call this episode to a close. And I'll see you guys in the next one where I am very excited to continue my offensive. Until then, take care.